So you can see that I am not American, and I'm born and raised in Asia, not specifically where, but just born and raised. The reason I wanted to say this to you is because I came from the background that is very master-teacher driven. And it's extremely teacher tell you and you do it, don't even ask questions. Because in the Asian culture, when you ask questions, you are actually challenging the teacher that they are not teaching you well enough. That's why you have questions. Isn't that weird? It's very weird. We don't have to ask questions. We want them to say, hey, I don't get this. What is it? Because it's really for themselves to reflect on what they don't know. So we want questions. But in Asia, when I was growing up, it's like a complete 180-degree difference. So if you ask questions, so that's why when you have Asian students in your classroom, if they're foreign-born, you can tell that they are very soft-spoken because they want to give you the most respect that they can do in that way. So what I'm about to also share with you is to have that master-teacher training idea back in your choir, in your middle school choir classroom, in the high school choir classroom, to tell your student what to do. As teacher, we are very good at telling. We're also very good at explaining things. So I'm thinking about doing something with you together now as a group, and then we can talk about this later. This is not for one class. This is also not has to go from step 1 to 2 and 3 and 4. It's not meant to like that. But we have 45 minutes. Could we hum the highest part over here? Ready? 1, 2. Can you show it to us? 1, 2, ready. And. Everybody, can you hum it? Ready? And. So musician has a special way to call these 3 notes. And these 3 notes we call that mi, re, do. Back up again. Do, re, mi. And you just said to me that you can feel and hear these 3 notes is step from each other. Yes? But we have one skip. Who can show me where is that skip? Now, can you do your hand body sign? And I'm going to point to a song here. See, can you sing those notes in your head? You can hum it. You can sing it in the actual name. It's up to you. So you can either go, or you can go, mi, re, do. It's up to you, okay? But you must sing it in your head. And I'm going to ask you to show your body sign while I'm pointing to it. Yes? Get ready. I need to see everybody right here. I'm sure everybody understands what song it is. Let's sing it so far to check, is it the same song that we are thinking of? 1, 2, ready, and mi, re, do. And I'm wondering, what does it look like if we're going to put these 3 notes on the musical staff? And see what does it look like on the musical staff, if it looks like a step from each other, or maybe a skip from each other. So we're just using the notepad over there, no stem, just a round notepad, and put it right there. So same thing, I'm going to ask the student to describe. So they are just derived from, this is a step, and looking over there, so the conclusion will come out is space to a line is a step, line to a space also, and then space to a space will be a, but we are not sure. Let's check it, let's sing it. High cross tones please, so far. Mi, re, and. Mi, re, do. When you hear, there's a pattern that is using mi, re, do. I'm going to ask you to raise your hand. If you hear the pattern using those 3 notes, it might not be the same order, but in using that 3 notes, see, can you identify where is it? Ready? Do, re, mi, re, do, re, mi, re, do, re. I have a group of 45 children coming in. I have no idea where their background is. Like none. I have no idea where their background is. And these are some of the process that I brought them through. And they are actually reading this. So when you go buy a house or buy a condo or co-op, the real estate agent always says, location, location, location. Why? Because it's good for you if you pay money to buy something. You want to sell high, right? Buy low, sell high. That's about it. So that's real estate. But you know what is in a choral teacher or any music teacher is, instead of location, location is repertoire, repertoire, repertoire. You have a good set of repertoire, you are set. You need to find time to have quality music, quality repertoire. You decide what is quality. You do your research, you understand the group of students in front of you. If you have a good set of repertoire, those music will tell you what to do. Yes? So let's read the harmony one, and then I can share with you how do I get them to hear the whole step and the half step, okay? So let's read through harmony one, same thing, only read out loud the different notes. Okay, now you have that 3 tones in your head. Let's sing it through one more time. Ready? You can use your body sign. Let's try use our body sign. Ready? Mi, so, fa, mi, mi, so, fa, mi, so. Could we do half and half, or do you want to do 1, 2, 1, 2? So I'm going to ask half of you sing melody, and then half of you do harmony one. So harmony will be mi, melody will be do. Same thing, exactly what you just did. Okay, only sing out the different notes. Mi, do. Ready, and do. Staircases. Some staircase is bigger and some staircase is kind of shorter. So you have to really lift your foot when you walk up that stairs. But some staircase, they are much shorter. You can just almost like no effort, you can walk up. So in music, we have 2 different types of steps. Even though they are all step from each other. Yes, this is all step, right? But looking, they look exactly the same because they're just step. But when you listen and sing them and feel them, there's 2 different types of steps. Anybody know what's the name of that called? A whole step, a half step, or major second, minor second, it's up to you. So there are 2 different types of steps. So let's figure it out. What is those steps between each of those notes? Okay, so I'm going to ask you to stand up. Okay, ready? And. Good. Let's try the other one, which is our. Try that one. How do you feel about these 2 steps? Do you feel the same or different? The same? Anybody feels different? Okay, let's try the next one, see how does that feel. Okay, ready, and. How about this one? Small. Your body tells you this is small. So when you feel small, that will be our half step. We have agreed on this, both are also whole step, yes? Yes? So let's look at the keyboard. What does the keyboard say? Do, re, mi. If I want to sing those little half steps in between, we're going to go Can you try it? Ready, go. When you go da, that is our half step. So when you hear, you have 2 half steps, now you have 1 whole step. Yes? You sing through the whole thing, and then when you get to the fa, which is we know is B flat, yes? I always sing the B natural because they can hear. For example, you go no, sorry. No, re, mi, classes, is this sounds like alpha? No. This sounds too far or too close? That's too far. So that means this is not alpha when today our do it on letter F. Can we sing the letter name here? F, G, A, G, F. I use a lot of my repertoire to teach music theory or music literacy. But when I say teach music theory or music literacy, is taking a section of that piece and for them to experience listening, which is the oral skills that they need to have, combining with kinesthetic and also combining with visual. The visual is not necessary just looking on the staff. Even though they will looking on the staff later on, there's always another medium ground, which is the visual, understanding how they can understand. Because they need to internalize what do they hear by what they see and what they can action. So what I'm saying is, even though if you're using abstract practices, the abstract practices need to come from a song or going to a song. Because otherwise will become abstract practice. It's just like when I was in Asia learning piano, not knowing why I'm doing what I'm doing, because my teacher said so. Just hum the note when you hear something, okay? When you hear sound, just hum it back. Very good. So, I'm going to ask you to make your own pattern. Any notes that you like to sing, whatever distance that you want to make them shorter, longer, it's up to you. But you're going to, the highest one will be do, the lowest one will be do, but any note in between, it's up to you, okay? Yes? So when we end, we just end together. Ready? Go. I show it to you like this. Doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. So, so la do re mi so mi. Yes, we get it. Almost 99.99999999999 of popular music is basing on our beautiful pentachord or pentatonics, or even though a lot of rap music is harmonic minor. If we do all your research, you're going to figure it out. What? And the student's going to go, what? They use harmonic scale? I was like, yeah. Because they think, what? This is so boring. Harmonic scale. I was like, really? But so-and-so using that has become cool. So after they experience it, using the visual and the oral example, figure it out how high, how low, same across the board for meter and also with rhythm. For that experience, then the student are describing a drive from their experience. Then we're analyzing things together. And then the concept and the literacy is going to show up. All my students have a tuning fork, and they found all the notes from this tuning fork. Everybody knows this is A440. So I will often say to them, today, A440, today, A440 is our mi, and we sing through la, do, la, and actually let's try that together. Let's try the A440 together. A440. Singing so fast to get to the do. Ready? Mi, re, do. Can you sing letter A? A, G, F. But the next day, A is no longer mi. A is going to be our La. A440. Ready? La, sol, mi, re, do. Letter name, please. A, G, F, E, D, C. And the next day, our A440 is going to be our Fa. Ready? And Fa, mi, re, do. Letter name. A, G sharp, F sharp, E. Now we know E major. The next day is A440 is so. Ready? So, mi, re, do. Letter name. A, G, F sharp, E, D. So we did this I don't want to say that will be a lot, not every single rehearsal, but a lot of rehearsal. Every time we switch from the music is from C major to D major to E major, I use tonal transition. So the tonal transition is finding a pattern from the song that we can make it as an ostinato. We're singing it and then we use the ostinato, we move to the next song and we change the solfa. How do they know what solfa to change? Either I use tone letter to communicate with them, or the keyboard, or the actual staff. So using the actual staff, tone letter, or the keyboard, we switch the tonal center, and then we move to the next song. But they all understanding about the whole step, half, the whole half, and whole half, same thing. And how do they understand it? They need to move it. They need to move the whole step instead of I sing it and tell them. Even though when they move, the beginning you might have some students who go, oh, but am I supposed to move more or move less? It doesn't matter. Because we all have different body type, different body shape. My whole step might be all the way here, but your whole step may be right here. It doesn't matter. But no matter what whole step they move, they will feel the half step is lesser. You know why? Because the body says so. Your body is going to tell you this is sounds and feel different. And we have to trust ourselves and trust them. That's where the student agency coming along. We have to trust them. The agency that they feeling is the correct one for them. So once they differentiate, learning, right? Learning is about differentiation. What's same, what's different. If they can differentiate the whole step and the half step, now you have the diatonic scale. Even though for the minor, you're still using the same thing. Because one thing beautiful about movable do is, even though you change to the minor tone center, your mi fa and the ti do is still, half step is still the same. It's not do re, it's not do re mi, right? It's still the same thing. Your ti do and the mi fa is exactly the same place. You're just moving instead of your one is do, now your one is. I'm sorry, I'm using the current hand sign. That's what I'm doing. I'm very comfortable with that. So anything, I just hand sign anywhere. I have one time at NYU. So besides the junior, I also teach a pedagogy course at NYU every Monday and Wednesday during the semester. Besides the summer at NYU. So in my semester course at NYU, I asked my student, it's a graduate course, but also is a junior and senior, they will take that class. I asked them to go so far the ice cream truck music. Because in New York City, we have ice cream truck everywhere. So they like it. But I said to them, I'm going to give you one hint. It's starting on so. So the next time they come back, and they will have the hand sign and so far. If you can so far the ice cream truck or any music, you will need to have a good ear to listening for those steps and skip. Yes? Yes? You're finding where is that tonal do center and you so far. Do you want to try it? Okay.
We have last chance.
Oh, sorry. So, 2 minutes. So, why don't you pick something from this repertoire, and I use my fast 2 minutes to show you, or to share with you. So, chairs to men, we can do harmony for that. Coffee cannon, and also ding dong, we can do meter. Or you can do you want to try the 7/8 meter? Go try the 7/8. Okay. So that one is in C major. At this point, my students already knowing the so far quite well. They are reading in C major without any meters. Are you still with me? They're just reading in so far. But so that's not the focus on this piece. The focus on this piece is the 7/8, yes? So we're reading from your left to your right. Can you say the number that you see from left to right? Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What happens in music if you tie together? Can you make this sound also? Ready, and
1, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7.
very good. How about like this? Ready, now, and
1, 4, 6, 1, 4.
how about this one? Ready, and
1, 4, 1, 4.
how about like this?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
There it is. Your first time you will hear to see do, mi, fa, yes, do, mi, fa. Ready, now, and
No.